Yeah, we
yourself?
can hear you.
Hey.
Okay.
So it was the input. The input was down because I had it on for the fucking recordings. I had it down. So the input
If a
was down.
piece of shit was to say anything, it would be
All right,
exact.
so we're live, guys. This is Emil Fisher. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm a fairly lower mid-tier, well-known guy in the jiu-jitsu world. And I have these three guys on here. I got Bill Hudson, Antony Hämäläinen, and Jonah Weingarten.
Hello.
Anthony is a melodic death metal singer who's sung for some of the best bands that I know, like Night Rage. I know he's sung for Crystal Tears, Armageddon, which is basically a supergroup consisting of guys from Arch Enemy and then Antony. We got Bill Hudson, who has played guitar for Savatage, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, a bunch of really impressive acts. I know he's done some work for Circle to Circle, plays live for Doro and Udo Dirkschneider. And we got Jonah Weingarten, who is one of the best keyboardists in the world. His claim to fame, of course, is doing the background music that I use for my videos sometimes. No, but seriously, he plays for a band called Pyramid and a couple other really amazing bands. He's done some stuff for Terra Maze. He's done some stuff for Sirius Black, to name a few. They got possibly a supergroup project maybe coming up in the not too distant future, and just great guys. So, Bill, tell us a bit about yourself. Start just going right around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've said it all. You know, I've played with quite a few of my childhood heroes. I also happen to play with Night Rage, and that's how I met Anthony before.
Yep.
And right now I'm working on the second North Tail album. We're set to play Prog Power this year. That's like my band, I should say like my baby, where I actually write music and run the show. And yeah, man, that's about it. I'm being locked down in Florida, trying to write some music, not having that much that good of luck, but I've been teaching guitar a lot too. And trying to deal with this, I guess. Right now I should be on the road with Doro, but I'm not. So
where are you in Florida?
I live in Orlando. It's like south of Orlando. It's called Hunters Creek. It's
okay.
Orlando.
And Anthony, tell us a bit about what you're doing in your life these days. I know you just moved to Ohio not too long ago. I know that you just had a baby.
Watch party here.
Yeah, the same old man, same old thing. Just doing jiu-jitsu, and working on music all the time. Doing just doing some stuff with Crystal Tears. Yeah, we just completed a tour in the Philippines. We played there right before all this shit happened with the coronavirus. So it's kind of weird for us to come back like right after, like, or right when I guess it was really happening like bad then. Like, but we were there in Asia and nothing happened to us at all. So it was a really weird thing. But yeah, so hooked up with those guys. Been working with them for a while. We're finishing up an album and have a couple other projects I'm working on as well. So yeah, same old shit, man.
How about Jonah? What's going on, Jonah?
Just living the dream mostly.
What cool stuff do you have coming out in the near future?
What's that?
What cool stuff do you have coming out in the near future?
Well, the new Pyramids record is almost done, which is album number 6. And then I recently joined a band called Catalyst Crime that's like sort of cinematic, symphonic, female-fronted power metal stuff. And then I've been doing a lot of studio session work. Like this year, I have 2 albums out already. One is the Night Crowned album, which is like Swedish epic black metal, and that's out on Noble Demon Records.
Oh, I'm doing a project with that drummer, Janne.
What's his name?
Janne Jolama.
Yeah.
Okay, weird. I didn't know you played on that. No shit. Okay.
Yeah.
You know that the guy Henrik was in Night Rage. He used to be in Night Rage.
Yeah, I know him because I toured with him back in 2005.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you told me that. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. My bad. Sorry.
And then the Sirius Black album that I played all the keyboards on came out on AFM at the end of January. That's out, and it's also out on vinyl. And then in November, I played on a couple songs for the new Syra album that's out on Nuclear Blast. You should check that out also. Other than that, I'm working on a video game soundtrack for an indie company based out of Germany. That's going to be based on my Ninja Brigade concept, which is pretty cool. So it's like, you know, synthwave montage stuff. And then, yeah, I get hired to do like random stuff. I'm working with like a vocalist in Norway on her album. And
It's sick though. You should check out his synthwave shit. It's sick. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I've been using for background music for all my videos.
I listen to it while I play Doom.
So I hear that there might be a supergroup project coming out with you guys that you guys are going to be doing. I mean, I know Bill was saying before we got started that it's nothing's really in stone yet, but give me kind of an idea of what we're looking at. Is it going to be a melodic death metal album, or is it going to be something a bit different? I know Antony's focus in vocals is mostly on the death metal side, but I know he does clean vocals as well.
I'll let those guys say. They can tell you.
Antony, go ahead.
You want me to tell you? Okay. Well, yeah, it's very different, guys. I don't know how to describe it. I don't think it sounds like any other band. We do have clean vocals and extreme vocals in the songs, but it doesn't sound like any other band to me. So I can't really describe it personally. So,
Jonah?
Well, I mean, what I bring to the table, of course, is the epic film score stuff. So to me, it sounds like John Williams, like Star Wars meets power metal, melodic death metal, stuff like that.
It's like everything in one.
If you guys could do a power metal cover of any movie soundtrack that's like not a power metal movie, or not like a I don't know, not like a metal soundtrack. Like let's say a Disney movie. If you guys could choose any Disney movie to convert the soundtrack into a metal cover album, what would it be, Bill? Bill?
I
can't hear you, man.
Microphone.
All right, we're gonna go on. We're gonna go on to Antony. Bill can come in and come out, and then we.
I was going to say actually, Disney film, dude. It's hard because I mean the only ones I know like the old ones like Sleeping Beauty and stuff. I was gonna say like The Last Samurai, but for a Disney film,
yeah.
I probably say like Sleeping Beauty, just because it can be done brutal. You can make that story very epic. Power metal story. You can make it something like that with the knight and the dragon and shit, and it's yeah.
You gotta have your dragons and knights. What about you, Jonah?
What about The Little Mermaid?
I was gonna say the same thing, dude. I was gonna say the same fucking thing. Ursula's such a fantastic like female metal singer.
Yeah, I was thinking that Under the Sea song that the lobster sings, or is he a crab?
It's a crab. It's a crab.
Okay.
Is this working now?
There you go, boy. Okay.
All right, so Disney movie. What Disney movie would you do a cover album of the soundtrack for?
Well, in North there, we've actually discussed doing Into the Unknown, the Frozen song. We've never done it, but we've discussed doing that.
That would be incredible. But you know, Dragonland has done. They did the what was that? Didn't they do?
Never-ending Story.
Yeah, Never-ending Story.
Actually, dude, that's how Mikey got into music. Is through that. That's the first time he ever heard metal in his life.
Was that cover?
Yeah.
No shit.
He had no idea what heavy metal was, and then he was like just looking for the soundtrack and ended up with that cover. It was like, wow, oh, this is metal. That's yeah.
Did you tell that to Olaf Mork?
Do what?
Did you tell that to Olaf Mork? He needs to know that.
Several times, yeah.
That's so weird. I did not know that. You never told me that. No shit. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
I got Joseph Kowalski here in the comments saying Little Mermaid in the band Arch Enemy. What's funny is I'm pretty sure that the only ginger in the band Arch Enemy is one of the brothers, the guys. Yeah, but
he's not a real ginger. That's just
not a real ginger.
Fuck no.
So it's funny because Anthony actually plays with the guitarist from Arch Enemy. So I hear that there's a band now that you're doing, Daughter Chaos. Is that basically the remnants of Armageddon, Anthony? Or what is that?
Yeah, it was basically. Yeah, it was like we did like a thing where we just like we did a show. Like we put on a show in New York, and we basically just did it without Chris because he was like busy touring with Dark Tranquility and shit. So we just did like a couple of songs and did like a cool show and everything. And yeah, it was pretty fun. But yeah, it was like because we don't, you know, he is so busy with Dark Tranquility. This dude could never fucking commit to Armageddon. So we kind of laid it to rest a long time ago.
Gotcha. And Jonah, I know you mentioned there's some new Pyramaze material going out. I think that Pyramaze is your mainstay band. It's the band you've been in the longest, right? Like that's the one that you've done the most work with and probably the best known work with.
Yeah.
So I noticed that you guys had kind of like 1 or 2 albums with each singer before your current singer, which is what is it, Turier? Is that how it's pronounced, or how's it? Turier. So
Yeah.
with that new material, so how do you guys as a band adjust your material for the singer's voice? Like, what do you do as far as the sound engineering or whatever to make the singer's voice work with it? Because I think Matt Barlow.
They grab his balls.
Was that?
They grab his balls.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, all 3 singers that we've had have a very different sound, you know. So, I mean, when I'm doing my keyboards for the albums, of course, I have the singer in mind. I think that my keyboards and Matt's vocals work really well together because I'm good at sort of bringing out some of the more like epic qualities of it, and him and I work well together. But with Teria, it's kind of a more like a modern cinematic approach that I go for. Kind of more like an epic trailer music type of sound overall. I use a lot of like sort of underlying like whoosh and explosion sounds to sort of bring out some of the accent points. And he's got such an awesome kind of he sort of sounds like a mixture of Dio and Chris Cornell or something, you know. So he's got kind of a modern vibe to his voice, which is great. It's easy to vibe with.
For sure. We got a couple comments in here. We've got Paul Zane from Blackguard saying hi, Bill. And we got somebody else commenting. Hall of the Mountain King was metal with melody from Prelude to Madness. And then asking if you're from Sabotage. So Bill, I know you played with Sabotage, which is really fucking cool. I know you like did something on a festival date, right?
Yeah, I did one show. It's not right to say I was in the band.
No, you weren't in the band.
I did the reunion show, you know.
Right, which is huge. How did you get linked up with?
It was a pretty big show, yeah.
Yeah. How did you get linked up with Chris Caffery?
Well, that entire thing was basically inspired out of me meeting Zach Stevens backstage at Prague Power 2007. That's literally what it was. It was my first time like playing Prague Power. I was playing with Celador, my band at the time. We were like second in the first day, like, you know. So but I saw Zach backstage and I went to fanboy him. I went to ask for a photo and you know, to just annoy him. But I was super drunk and I'm like, hey man, if you ever need a guitar player, you should give me a call. And he did, you know, like a week later he called me, or 2 weeks later he called me, or whatever. He's like, I need a guitarist. I started working with Circle to Circle. So I did my first European tour was with them. A lot of my first things in my career was Circle to Circle. Through that I met John Oliva on tour. We did that 2008 tour that actually also had a show at Prague Power with Circle to Circle and John Oliva Spain together. We started that tour at Prague Power, and I met John. When John needed a guitarist back in 2014, I talked to him, and then I started working with John. Through working with John, I did another Prague Power, the John Oliva Spain one, 2014. And that's when I met like the rest of the Sabotage people. because up to that point I didn't really know. I mean, I talked to them online or whatever, but up to that point, like I wasn't really working with them at all. So in 2014, Joe went to Whitesnake and was basically busy all year. So I ended up taking that spot for the year. So I did the Wacken show as part of Sabotage, and I did the TSO tour that winter too. So that whole thing basically inspired out of meeting Zach backstage at Proud Power. That was really
Did you play Wright State Arena at the Trans-Siberian tour? And didn't you?
It was a lot of arenas. I don't remember exactly the.
You played in
yeah,
Dayton, Ohio, where I used to go to college. I remember on that tour, and I was.
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah. You talked to me when I was there.
I couldn't believe that. It was so random. That's so crazy. I used to play tennis, man, right next to where you played. Like right there is a tennis court, and I used to play there.
Was it Ohio, Dayton, Ohio? Is that what it is?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Because I remember, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two guys in Ohio, that live in Ohio on this stream right now.
Yep.
I live in Cleveland, and Anthony lives in Columbus.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
Right. Yep.
But so tell us a bit about the TSO days, Bill. I mean, that's some pretty crazy shit right there. Playing with a band like TSO. I mean, you guys are going around playing Jingle Bells and shit, and, you know. Awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was a dream come true, man. It was because also like a lot of the people I was working with were like idols of mine as a kid. You know, like being in the East Band. So I was playing with Chris Caffrey, like you said, who I grew up idolizing in Sabotage. But also I had Russell Allen from Symphony X singing. And I also had...
He's badass.
In our rehearsals, I also have Jeff Scott Soto and Vitaly Capri and fucking Al Petrelli. And I'm working with these people, you know, like actually it's been... That year was like okay, it feels like this is where everything, you know, where everything came down to this tour. You know, I still work with them. I still do rehearsals every year, and but I do backup band, but I haven't done a tour since that year.
Bill, are you in the commercial for that shit?
I've been in a couple, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking knew it. Anna, my wife was like, dude, look at that fucking silhouette. Is that him? And like fucking, and I was like, dude, it is him. I think so.
Yeah, there's quite a few things. There's like there's some photo too. But I haven't actually.
One time I just like looked at my TV. I happened to look at my TV, and then there was Bill standing there playing guitar for a TSO ad.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we saw too. I'm telling you, you're in a TV ad here, at least on the.
But I don't think they've done that this past touring season.
Yeah, man, it's the same one. Yeah, yeah. The same shit.
I didn't see it this past touring season.
I did. I saw it. I was like, oh, but he ain't even on that shit. But fuck, there he is.
Well, it's cool. I mean, but regardless, man, it's like rehearsing that every day, every year. Even if I'm not going on the tour, it's like going to music school for like 2 weeks. You know?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's really fucking cool.
How long is the set? Is it 2 hours?
Oh God, it's more like we have to learn more like 3 hours, and then at the end, the rehearsals they normally cut it down to 2.5.
That's what it was like on our Crystal Tears tour, because we had an acoustic set and an electric set. So we had like 2 sets to learn. So it's long when you have that kind of thing.
It's basically 2 sets too. It's basically 2 sets
crazy.
there too.
Hard, yeah, it's shit's hard.
Yeah, man. But
so Jonah,
yeah.
When it comes to like your keyboard work that you do such work for so many different styles of music. There's so many different styles that you engage with. Like I've seen you do, you know, your normal power metal, prog metal stuff, and then some black metal and death metal. Do you have a favorite genre of metal that you do, or do you have a favorite genre of music that you do that's not metal?
Actually, I would say that my favorite genre of metal to listen to is melodic death metal. That's what I came up on, like Children of Bodom, In Flames, Arch Enemy, Dark Tranquility, At the Gates, all that stuff. Soilwork is my all-time favorite band. but then my favorite style to work on in the studio and to make albums is like big orchestrated symphonic metal, you know, of any kind, really. Anything I can slap an orchestra on. So
Yeah. So what projects do you currently have that you're working on that like you're most excited about? I know you do like a lot of different stuff. What stuff do you have going on right now that is not well publicized yet, but that you know is going to be big?
That'd probably be the Catalyst Crime stuff that I'm doing. And then my project with Bill and Anthony, of course. And then oh man, that's not publicized yet, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have so many irons in the fire. It's hard for me to keep track of them, to be honest. But there's a couple things I've been working on that I can't talk about yet, which is always annoying. But because I'm working on it, but you know, it's not something I can talk about publicly yet. So for
why is that? There's a lot of bands that I like that will have something coming out and they'll be like, we're doing this, but we can't talk about it yet. Why is that? Like, why does that happen? Is it because
there's a lot of reasons.
You have to deal with record labels, first of all, and they have promotional schedules.
Yep.
So, like, once they figure out when an album's going to be released, then you're sort of on their timeline, like, okay, this music video will come out, or we're going to announce this, or we're going to show the album cover, or whatever. When I'm getting hired by bands overseas to play on their albums and stuff like that, I can't really talk about it until they talk about it because I don't want to step on their toes promotionally, you know.
Emil, I was actually just going to tell you one project, but the other day, I literally just got the notification that we're going to be on a label, so I couldn't tell you the name now. I was going to.
No, it's one of those things. It's so weird to me because it's almost like it's the coolest fucking thing, but you can't talk about it.
Yeah, it's like, so, especially this one because
also
videos and photos.
A lot of things fall through.
So you said things fall through, Bill?
No, well, I said in the music business, there's a lot of people that say, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that other thing, and then they don't do it, and then it falls through.
True.
So, you know, like I'm really not a fan of that's why I'm not a fan of talking about things before it's time because it can lead to that, you know. There's so many moving parts, you know. And then you end up with those bands with like 2 demos on Facebook and new soon, guys, you know. That's really
it's kind of like you don't want to talk about how you're pregnant until the 2nd trimester.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so easy. It's so easy to start a project these days, but it's not easy. You know, it's never been easy to finish it, but it's become very easy to start. So I think any band that says you shouldn't say it is actually right.
True.
Okay. Fair enough. So we got a question in the comments here. And it's a question specific to Bill, but I feel like we should just go around to each of you guys and talk about this. Who is your greatest influence?
He just left.
That's fine. That's fine. Who is your greatest influence to your music? This is from Joseph Kowalski on the Facebook post.
Yes.
The greatest influence. I mean, there's not one single greatest. I mean, there's guys that I really, really, really look up to for one reason or another. Like, I started playing guitar because of Slash. Obviously, the music I make sounds nothing like that, but I still want to be like Slash, you know. As far as like being, and is sort of a new thing. Like I really look up to Timo Tolkki, or you know, or the way he used to be, you know, like as a band.
I think you sound more like Timo Tolkki than Slash. I can hear that.
And I really look up to Yngwie Malmsteen, of course. That's probably, as far as like guitar playing goes, that and John Petrucci are probably my 2 biggest influences. But like I said, I'm inspired, you know, I'm inspired by different things. And that's of course inside metal, you know, as far as like, because also like metal after a while can become a job, So you start listening to other things, and those other things start inspire you. When it comes to like production, for example, I'm a lot more inspired by anything that happens in hip hop or trap or anything more modern than I am in metal. It really depends. Inspiration comes from different places.
What about Jonah? Biggest influence?
I mean, for me, it's
Or
like
influence.
film composers like Hans Zimmer and John Williams and Thomas Newman and Danny Elfman, of course, Steve Jablonsky.
Gotcha. And Anthony, I'm assuming Thomas Lindbergh?
Sure, that's definitely there. But I'm like Bill too. I kind of like a little bit of everything. Like I love Axl Rose. I mean, I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan. Love Timo Colti-Pelto from Stratovarius. Guys like that. That inspires. I wish I could sing like that. I can't fucking sing like that. I wish I could. So I sit and listen to that all the time to get inspiration to, for myself. Yeah, just a little bit of everything.
So I've got another question for Anthony specifically. I know Anthony moved to the United States from Finland, younger in life. Like, how old were you when you moved over here?
I was a little baby. Yeah, we've been here. I've been in Ohio since I was nothing.
Okay. And so I'm assuming that your connection to the music, to Scandinavian specifically, like a lot of Scandinavian music, is not through being, like a lot of these guys, like Children of Bodom, they went to school together.
Sure.
Stuff like that. How did you get into it? Like, how did you get connected with these people?
Well, it was like weird for me. Like, I mean, when I was young, I mean, it was my uncles and my dad and stuff like that. They all listened to, metal from Europe and stuff like that. So I knew about it a lot before everybody else. But actually here in Ohio, it's kind of funny. Like in Columbus, especially where I was growing up, everybody was kind of really into the arts. So there was like even friends of mine in high school who knew who Cradle of Filth was like in the 90s, and that's so fucking rare. Like like for a kid in high school in Ohio to know who even fucking Cradle of Filth is, like that's really rare. So I mean I just had roots in Scandinavia and just knew the area and was able to just navigate my way around there. In general, it's easy if you have family and shit there. You know what I mean? You know where to go and who to talk to and yeah, I don't know.
Gotcha. And Jonah, I know that you're in like Wisconsin or Minnesota or some shit, and that's
Minnesota.
How did you get connected to that kind of music, which is
people
really
from
so
Ohio say Wisconsin or Minnesota or some shit. You see how you live in the middle of nowhere.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Shit.
I actually grew up in Vermont. I've just moved all over for music and stuff like that.
So anyway, so how did you get connected with it?
I didn't hear whatever is funny, so because
oh my god, dude.
They were laughing at me for making fun of you for living in Minnesota when I live in Ohio.
Yeah, we live in Ohio, dude. Like we can't make fun of you.
I mean, but still, like I make fun of Ohio, so I'm allowed to make fun of Minnesota. I don't know. So no, but seriously, like, how did you get connected with these Danish and like you're very connected with Jacob Hansen and with these Danish musicians over there. How'd you get connected?
Emailed them.
I just when I was 18 or 19, I just promoted myself overseas on the internet, like posting on guest books and things like that. Like I actually got connected with Pyrames originally because I posted a message on the Wacken Open Air Festival guest book saying I was a keyboardist from the USA and that I wanted to join a band in Europe. And the founding guitarist of what was to become Pyrames sent me an email, and then I sent an audition tape to him, and then I got the job and I got flown to Denmark. And we recorded Melancholy Beast, which was our debut album. That was when I was 19 years old. So I just kind of went for it. I knew what I wanted to do when I was in high school. And so as soon as I graduated from high school, I went for it. And yeah, I was lucky because I got to skip the whole like being in a local band thing. I just got to be in a signed band right away. So, but you know, it's something I'm very grateful for, that I didn't have to do that stuff, because I recognize and appreciate the struggle. So
The struggle's real.
yeah.
So, Bill, have you ever been in like a local band, or how did you get your start? Like, how did you begin?
He was in local bands only.
I'm
He's only been in local
trying
bands.
to ask about that shit, man. You know what, man? Okay, so like Jonah, or I should say, no, Jonah here.
There I
Like
am.
Jonah, I came from Brazil to America, right? And
Oh.
I mean, he went from America to get Europe to play with European people, and I came from Brazil to America because I wanted to play outside of Brazil. Europe, America, it didn't matter, just not in Brazil, you know. So anyway, so I came to America, and the first, this is going to be a long answer, but you understand why. So the first thing that happened was I joined a band that was signed at the time to Metal Blade. We were called Celador. We were not the best band, but we were signed. And I moved to Omaha, and I'm like, oh, you know, I'm coming from Brazil. I'm exotic. I'm joining this band, and this band is signed, so everybody's gonna respect us. No, we would play countrywide, sold out shows. We'd play with Bullet for My Valentine, Trivium, All That Remains, sold out shows. We'd try to play our local town, and we get 32 people, including our families. And all the other bands used to talk shit about us, even though we were like literally playing Japan. And these bands are like, yeah, Salvador sucks, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So for a while, I thought, okay, well, that's a Nebraska thing. That must be a Nebraska thing. So for a while, I hated Nebraska. And I thought it was a Nebraska thing. Then I moved to Los Angeles. And I saw the same thing happen there. Except that in Los Angeles, everybody's trying like to stuff the right noses at the rainbow, you know, so they all know who the people are. So the second they walk in through the rainbow, what's up, buddy? Here, you know. But same kind of deal, you know, the band that gets signed, everybody talks shit. Like in Huntington Beach, California, everybody hates Avenged Sevenfold, you know, because so I'm like, okay, well, that happens in California too. California sucks, damn it. So I moved to Florida, and I see the same thing happen here. Oh, that guy played with Oliva. He's just an overrated kid. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hang on. It's not Florida. It is local musicians.
Local music,
It is
dude.
local musicians. Because if you have a local band, you should learn something. You don't go from local to national. Your favorite band was never local. Like that bullshit that you guys do, you know, those bullshit festivals, there's 17 girlfriends watching, and you pass the flyer and the guy walks away and you rip his flyer. That does not translate in getting signed, ever. It never did, it never will. That's not how you do it. And I'm signed. I'm a Nuclear Blast. My band was signed before we had.
Dude, I've tried to tell people this that are in local bands too, man. They don't listen. They don't
fucking
listen.
hate local scenes in general, Emil. I told you.
Dude, I was in Arizona for a long time, dude. In Arizona, it's the same thing. Same people,
like,
same deal.
How do these people think? Like, why do you think that you have to talk shit about the other bands? Do you think that because you're saying that the other bands are bad, your band is suddenly good? Like, it doesn't work that way, you know?
No.
When a band gets signed from your town, be happy for them.
Yeah.
When you hear that they're touring, be happy for them. Be like, wow, I live in bumfuck Nebraska, but hey, there's a band from where I'm from.
Can I open for you?
Something, and I'm proud to be from here. But no, that side band sucks. My band that plays breakdowns a la Slipknot is much better than your band. Fuck all the local bands in the world, man. Is that a good answer, Ambo?
That's a good answer, baby.
That is a fantastic answer. You know, it's funny, and I'm sure that that Anthony has seen this. You see this a lot also in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
The same kind of effect where like the
you
good
get into
guys
the UFC, everybody says you suck.
Yes.
Yes, it's actually I was gonna tell you, Bill and Jonah, that being a fighter is almost like being in a band in a lot of ways. You have to promote yourself the same way. You have the same kind of bullshit. You have local people that think they're good and they're terrible and they never amount to anything and they're just running. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just a different venue.
It's the same concept.
Sometimes I think that's human nature because
It is human nature.
Sports in general is the same way. You know, like a guy that plays basketball and goes playing another city is a sellout. You know, so
Hey, Bill, Carl Frederick says that's some classic Bill right there, and I was gonna comment on that and agree. And like, dude, I've known you for 15 years now. We've been friends for 15 years, whatever. And my favorite thing about you is your fucking stories, dude. Your stories are always hilarious.
Well, the thing is, everybody has stories like mine.
Sure.
But nobody talks about them.
Yes, this is the question. Yes.
Everybody wants to be polite.
Write it down. You write your stories down. Yeah.
The average. And I mean, if you want to have an average life, that's okay. I don't. I never did. I never will. You know, because a lot of people say, "Oh, this guy has a loose mouth. He talks a lot of shit." Well, it's working for me, dude. You know, I have a pretty good career. I mean, I don't know what to say. You know, so I don't know, man. But I don't know. Classic Bill. There's Bill rants all the time.
There is. There's good ones. There's many good ones.
Mm-hmm.
You have to trigger them.
I think that life is too short to mask your true feelings and your true intentions and to try to please everybody. And so as a result, I think that people, the more I'm hearing you speak, the more I see similarities in our approaches, Bill, in that I can't be bothered to kiss ass. And
how many times did I tell you would like Bill Hudson? How many times did I tell you that? How many times?
You told me that.
How many times did I say you and Bill Hudson would be so good friends, man?
So you know what, man? I can get deeper into this topic. I moved to America. I moved to America because of that thinking, because I didn't want to deal with the bullshit in Brazil. I'm sure you heard. Okay, because as a prog power guy, you probably know quite a few Brazilian musicians, right?
Of course,
I've met them. I don't really know many.
No, but you know of them. That's what I mean. Like, there's quite a few bands here in America from Brazil that you might have heard, like Hibria and Day 11. But in Brazil, inside of Brazil, there's only two bands you're even allowed to say you like. It's Angra and Sepultura. Yeah.
What about Christian?
So, no, that is only big outside.
Come on. You can't say that there?
No, I mean, you can.
They have to admit that.
It's legit. You know what I mean? It's legit to like Crisium because they're the only death metal band. It's legit. Like, I toured there with them with Vital Remains.
Pretty damn good to me. Damn.
But
I mean,
they don't have the same status. They don't have the same status in Brazil as they do outside.
No shit.
Shit. And Angra does, and so does Sepultura, of course.
Huh.
But the thing is
that because of Kiko Loreno? Was it Megadeth? Is that why Angra gets the pass? Why Angra? Why?
Oh, dude, Angra has had the pass for 20 years.
Why?
Kiko has been a celebrity in Brazil for 20 years.
Okay.
Like he's on TV, and he's not just a metal guitar player in Brazil. Like, he's on TV, on talk shows, and he's a celebrity. And he was before. Megadeth didn't do that. He's probably, I would venture to say he himself is bigger than Megadeth in Brazil. Just his name.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
I believe. I mean, hey, man, you know better than me, man. Shit.
But that's a good example. Kiko, you know, he was my instructor. Like, I have no reason to badmouth that, but that is the only guy that people care about in Brazil. That's why I left, because I didn't want to deal with that.
Sure.
I'm like, you know what? If this is how it goes here, I'll just move to America, because at least in America there's more opportunity.
Yeah, if there's only two bands, then fuck.
America. And it's funny because my career is not really in America. Like, the bulk of my career is in Europe. Yeah. You know, so And the European bands hire calling me American, which is even funnier. Like, you know, like the Udo crew and people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like why did they kept calling you the American guy? I was like, dude, he's not.
No, but it is because America at least is the playing field. You know, here talent matters. Here, if you have talent, you get something. If you don't, then you won't. You know, in Brazil, talent, you ain't getting nowhere.
Sure.
You know, dude, I mean, Hibra is another huge example. That band is fucking fantastic. They are amazing, and I didn't even know they existed until I moved to the States. Yeah, and now they're my buddies. But I mean, as far as I was concerned, they were German or something. I don't know. Yeah.
So when it comes to the different kind of national scenes, you're saying that in Brazil, they don't really give the local bands or the Brazilian bands, because Brazil's a huge country, so I wouldn't say local. The Brazilian bands, they don't really get the respect that they deserve.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's never happened. Dude, there's
so
crazy
crazy,
stories. Like one of my best friends in the world, Edu Falaschi, okay? He is to many fans, he's the quintessential singer in Angra, right? Like that's a lot of people's favorite singer. 6 months before he was in the band, the same magazine that manages Angra was trashing him and his band and the band that he had at the time.
Yeah, this is big, right? This is a big thing there.
Within a year, the guy went from being someone who can't sing in key to being the best singer in Brazil, according to the same magazine. You know, so it's crazy. I mean,
his albums are the best. His albums are sick as fuck, dude. I like
nowadays you don't have that much power, I would say, because in Brazil, at the time, Angra was managed by the only magazine, you know, by the only rock magazine in the country, whereas right now people are just looking at shit online, you know.
Oh, okay.
So, one thing that's kind of funny, I think that Anthony will appreciate this. Anthony, do you know where the singer from Sepultura, the current singer from Sepultura, is from?
Of course.
Yeah.
Check your heights, man.
Clevo, baby. I know that from beginning, baby.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm just saying.
That's them Browns, baby.
Ohio.
Yeah. I talked to him maybe 3 days ago, too.
Actually, you know what's funny? I'll tell you. Yeah, this is a funny thing about Bill. Bill's like he's like not friends with anybody in Sepultura that's Brazilian. He's only friends with Derek, the only American guy.
I've been on Andrea's radio show, and I jammed with Eloy before.
Okay, I thought you only knew Derek though back in the day. I thought that was the only fool you were.
Back in the day, I only knew him because I met him through Jasmine.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
But that is the kind of thing I would do, yes. Like not training jiu-jitsu because I don't want to be around Brazilians.
Yeah, but if you did it
you can always go to Keenan Cornelius' gym in California, you know?
Yeah, but he's in Florida.
I started training here in Florida. I went to a gym by this guy named Seth Petrozelli.
I know who that is.
Yeah, he's got a gym here. I haven't been the jungle, and I went and took some kickboxing. I took some jiu-jitsu, and I like kickboxing because it reminded me of Van Damme. But the jiu-jitsu thing had way too much Portuguese for my taste, man. You know, way too many people are saying way too many expressions in Portuguese. I'm like, no, I don't want.
See, you know what, Emil? I thought for him, he really fucked up because if he could have discovered Eddie in LA when he lived in LA, he would have really loved jiu-jitsu. He would have loved it.
Yeah, just go to a 10th Planet gym, bro.
My ass.
No,
but you'd loved it though.
Seriously, Bill, go to a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go because I listen to Eddie Bravo on Joe Rogan all the time.
Listen. My buddy Josh LeDuc is down in Tampa, or near Tampa. He's down in Palmetto, Florida, and he's got people down near Orlando that he can send you to that are really fantastic, and you're not going to really run into many Brazilians.
Man, I've tried. Man, listen, Emil, you know how many guys I sent this motherfucker? I actually looked up his address and put it in fucking Google Maps. And I went through. Listen, man, and I went through and I sent him things and he goes, no.
No. Well, to be fair, though, I was kickboxing for a while. I stopped because of touring. And I stopped because of touring because I couldn't, I would be home 2 weeks, go there, and then leave for 2 months,
Well, if we go on tour, I'm gonna fucking do it.
You don't have to worry about your fingers.
Exactly, that too.
That's why you need to do no-gi.
I've never hurt my fingers once, ever, in jiu-jitsu, ever. Never.
Yeah, but you train no-gi, and then you train with Dan Covell. And the reality is that Dan Covell's not going to hurt your fingers, he's going to hurt your soul.
I know that. That's why I said my hands are fine. So if he just did the same, if he just trained no-gi, he'd be okay.
And that's totally a stereotype for me too. A lot of people ask, "Oh, you're from Brazil? You roll? You roll? You like Anderson Silva?"
Well, I mean, the fact is that you look like you're in decent shape, and you're Brazilian. That combination of things.
Yeah, but dude, I've watched him kick a bag, dude. It's a sad sight. Don't let him. Don't.
No, I wouldn't be very useful in a fight.
Yeah, dude, I had to help him, dude. I watched him kick a bag. It's great.
So Jonah's been really quiet here. Jonah, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
One thing that I hear a lot of musicians talk about is the state of the commercial side of music right now, how musicians can't really make money. What are your thoughts on that? And what can musicians do to improve their situation? And what do you think is the future of that issue?
Well, I think there's two ways to. Well, the two ways that I would see are the main ways to make money are to either be a touring musician or to be a session musician. I mean, you can do things like give lessons and whatnot. But for me personally, the bulk of my musical income comes from being hired to handle the keyboards on people's albums and write songs for people's albums and things like that. I haven't really toured a lot in my life. But I think it's a lot about branding and marketing yourself to the right crowd, the right audiences, or specific people or whatnot. I mean, most of the people that hire me are Pyrames fans, or they've heard about me through other albums that I've played on or whatnot. So
same here. Same.
Yeah. I hope that answers.
Do you think that file sharing has destroyed or has started to destroy the music industry?
Yes.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I mean I think actually streaming is it's doing better than we think it is. We just need to do more of it, and it needs to just become the norm. And then I think if you just have things like vinyl specifically, I think is something that people should take more interest in, because it becomes more like a story. It has like a book, and you can read it and read the lyrics and read the thank yous, and it becomes more personal. But then streaming, I think will also, I think that will actually, I think you'll see more bands and stuff like that coming into that platform, and will eventually own the rights to their music and take all the funds from this. So that's what
I mean, a lot of mainstream artists already do that.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
So you think that CDs are in the past now? You think that's?
I think it's cool for the real the extreme fan, especially if you play live, because I mean, Bill and I can tell you this, if you play a show and then you go down to the to the merch booth right after you're done playing, all the fans will come and buy a CD for you to sign it. You know what I mean? And those are the real fans, you know what I mean, that really care about the band and want to have a souvenir, and a real souvenir. And I still love CDs. I still buy them. I even buy tapes. Like the one release, Emil, that I was going to tell you about that I'm not going to anymore. We're going to do tapes, and we're going to do a cassette tape with a color, a color of the album color. And yeah, because they sell very well, actually. People I don't know if it's a hipster thing, but it fucking sells. So we're going to do it.
I haven't even heard of that was a thing again.
It is, man. It is, especially in especially in black metal for some reason. Black metal, it's very big. It's very
Like,
big.
the quality of CD
That makes sense.
and so it makes it, it gives that scratchy,
Lo-fi
shitty sound.
for sure. I mean, it's the same with the vinyl. If you really want to have a real thick, loud sound in your face, you would pick vinyl because it's gonna have.
All that being said, though, man, none of that. That's like novelty. You know what I mean?
Digital is dead, analog is alive. That's how I think.
Yeah, it's a novelty though. I think it's done. You can't compete with free.
Yeah, you can't. That's true. You can't. That's why I said streaming. I think will start to be king, and you will have fans that like come to the show and will buy the CD and the vinyl to get the signatures and stuff, and they're the real hardcore fans.
Yeah.
So recently there was a movie that came out that was available, I think, on either Netflix or Hulu or some shit. That was really fantastic. Lords of Chaos. I'm sure that at least one of you guys have seen it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the black metal scene? What do you think of that being? I guess it's like I always feel weird as a Jewish person going, listening to black metal or going to a black metal show, or I don't know. I feel ticklish about it because
not all black metal, man. I mean, black metal wasn't born out of Nazis. It was not.
Right. You're right.
Well, hey man, I'm a Jewish person and I play on black metal albums. So
there you go. There you go. And that is actually the most black metal thing fucking ever, is to be a Jewish person playing a black metal album. Like, that's supposed to be the most fucked up thing you could think of. So that's that. Yeah, exactly. See, he's got it already.
I'm talking about like shit like Mayhem, where they're very clearly anti-Semites and neo-Nazis.
Sure. What about them?
Yeah, I'm not gonna play on a Mayhem record. So
yeah, me either.
Right, exactly.
Dude, I love everyone in that band.
Me too. I think they're all great musicians.
Love me. They have no problem with me, man. I don't know. All the true black metal people I know are really fucking cool. The posers are usually the assholes.
True. This is true. This is true.
So the guys that, I mean, to begin with, the whole genre of black metal, all it was absence of style. It was this guy being like, everybody, death metal was cool, but now everybody's doing it, so I want to do something that's different. It ain't got nothing to do with fucking racism or Nazism. This is the posers that came after.
Yep.
Yep. And if you ask the one guy who created it, he'll tell you that too. So
1000%.
Carl says black metal was never originated as a sound either, that it was more lyrical.
Black metal was the absence of style. It was like trying to create something that wasn't anything. That wasn't death metal.
I agree with what Bill's saying. It's more like this.
That's what that black metal was. Now the bands that came after took the static and then became, oh, look how scary we are.
Sure. Yes.
That's different.
Those are the posers.
Yeah.
Those.
Yes.
The guy from Dissection who fucking blew himself away in the middle of a pentagram was really into it, guys.
Yeah. Man, that last record he made though, I loved it. That was it called Rain Chaos or something?
Tilda Rosland. Hey.
Yeah, man, I forgot about that. I got really into that last Dissection album. That was more like my cup of tea though, because it was more like old school In Flames or something.
Yes.
It sucks because power metal is currently going through that. You know what I mean? Like, it's going through. It's now a joke. It's now. Oh, look how funny we are. Oh, our costumes, blah blah blah. But it didn't start like that.
No.
Like Rhapsody could hold a sword on the first record and still be legit. It wasn't funny.
Same with Stradivarius. The soccer teams used to use them as a goddamn their national teams, like like their fucking theme song. I mean, come on, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I guess that happens. It can, in a way, it can even be called evolution, because obviously, Dimmu Borgir is musically far superior than Burzum is. So
true.
But it doesn't make them legit black metal. Like, I guess it's the whole ideology thing versus art and music and what it is.
That's the deal.
It's really playing with the crowd and knowing that people buy into that shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who believe that the ideology is more important than the art. So you could just have country music as long as it's about Satanism, then it works. Then it's black metal. That's
Exactly.
what they tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know some pretty Nazi country too. Yeah.
Fucking some deliverance metal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the reason I bring this up is because I do feel like certain styles of music have become associated with certain images, and I'd agree with you. It's the posers that really kind of drive it, but at the same time, that's what people are going to associate it with.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's built by association. Like you look at something like Burzum or like Mayhem or any of these bands, and you got to wonder who's giving them their money.
Yeah.
We are.
But see, in my opinion, too, Mayhem is separate. You know, like Mayhem and Burzum and like Dark Throne, they're separate. You know,
Yes.
they're legit. Like they
started it.
Yeah, like those bands, like they created, they're making legit art, so they will thrive.
And dissection.
To an
But do
extent.
you think they get a pass? Like, does Varg Vikernes get a pass on what he's done because he's one of the originals?
Yeah, but what do you mean?
No.
What has he done? Like, what is he? Because he says he claims self-defense, man. What are you gonna do with that? I mean, that's a different, But he's a Nazi. Yeah, he's definitely a white supremacist.
That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm
No.
looking at.
What, the
And
Nazi,
does he get
the
a
white
pass?
supremacist part?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, no, he doesn't get a pass on that. No.
That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with the fact that he created art.
Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah, yeah.
Like that, he's a piece of shit as a person. That's
Sure.
completely-
Yeah. The art of the person. Because I'll tell you something here, and I'll tell you this real quick. There's a humongously famous band that all of us know, and actually, we've already mentioned the band here. And the singer, I know for a fact by a person I was in a band with, is racist as fuck. Okay? All right? Because the person that I know had an experience with them that was racist as fuck. Okay? But you just wouldn't know that. But you still like their music, dude. You know what I mean? You don't know it. Hey, you love their music, and we all love it, dude. It's sick. It's fucking badass.
Hey, I just
But it
think
ain't
it's
got
funny
nothing to do with his
that,
fucking political views. The music is badass, so you can.
I think it's funny that we've been on for an hour, and that's how long it took Bill to say that someone was a piece of shit. That's been his
Because I
catchphrase.
actually meant it.
That's got to be a record for you, man. I mean,
True.
Yeah.
That's some sort of like, yeah.
it's like a dry spell. Bill's told me.
So
that
what
I'm
do
a
you guys
piece of
think?
shit
I
at
know
least
that we haven't
5
talked about this much because I don't think anybody really wants to think about it, but it's looming over our heads. COVID-19 and music, the state of music, the state of live music. What do you think?
I think we'll be back in November, December, October.
But do you think
Yeah.
that the music scene will be affected? Do you think that the way shows are held, the way that things are done is going to be different?
No, it will go away.
No, that's just the media trying to do like the fear mongering thing and get people to subscribe to their shit and whatever. It's all in my opinion just a bunch of crap. It's like we're gonna get through this and we're gonna get it through it sooner than later. And I hope, because I was supposed to tour Norway with Pyramids last month and it got rescheduled for August, and we can't really reschedule it again. So
Yep, that project that I can't tell you about, Emil, we had a show booked for September. Now that's, who knows when that's going to be. Might be October, but that was supposed to be our first show. So
See, and I have a much like more pessimistic view, because like I think that under a certain, like what was it that I read yesterday? I read something yesterday saying how they plan to bring shows back, right? And they're talking about how the first step is going to be open like a 2,000 seat venue and use social distancing to only put 500 people inside. Okay. Well, if that's how it's going to start, you're going to kill any band that right now is drawing 200.
sure.
Like if you're drawing 200 right now, you're fucked. If you're drawing 1,000 right now, you got to count on drawing 300 right now. Like, to me, that's the worst. To me, that's the worst part. And then promoters are not gonna want to cover guarantees because they don't know if people will show up. So then you have, a couple of bands agreeing to door deals. A couple of bands will agree to door deals. More bands will agree to door deals. Boom, becomes the standard. Now we only do door deals.
Fuck.
I'm honestly terrified, man, because.
I don't know how much longer can it last after that. I mean, we're not going to agree to door deals forever. Come on, we won't do that.
Or won't we? Or won't we? Because I get hit up for $100 jobs every week. That I know that when I say no, the next guy they hit up says yes.
Sure.
And by people agreeing to work for $100 is that there's musicians working for $100 now. So if there's bands taking door deals will become the norm. And then some bands will be able to afford it, others won't. That's my biggest fear. Not to mention, again, like in rock and metal and live music in general, we already sort of lost the young generation. Like young people will go see Taylor Swift, but they won't go see much else. They watch YouTube a lot. So I think it's up to us, everybody that lives of live music. I think it's up to us to figure out a way to do this. Like shit online, because I don't know, man. If it comes back, it's gonna be a while. I won't go to a show. I don't care if it's my favorite band. I'm not gonna go to a show when it opens. Some people think it's fear mongering. I'm actually afraid. I have asthma. So I'm a little more pessimistic.
I forgot you have asthma.
I have asthma, dude. I'll fucking die if I get that motherfucker. What?
You have an inhaler, motherfucker.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I can't hear what he's saying.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time.
But your face looks great because he froze. At least for me here, oh, there we go.
Anthony, try leaving the studio and coming back. You're fucking up.
The connection is that of a piece of shit. Yes.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yes.
There's no more pixelated sounds anymore.
Bill, you remember when we used to play
He's back. Can't make fun of him anymore.
You remember when we used to play Halo online together? Like, I want to say 10 years ago or something.
Nathan?
No, when we would play online, it was when I lived in Florida.
Oh, we play. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I have more memories of playing with Nathan and pissing him off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In Nathan's basement.
In his basement. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Nathan. That's Nathan. Prog Power Nathan, by the way. That we're talking.
Hold on, guys. Let's see if we can hear Anthony. Anthony, say hi.
A beautiful picture of Anthony.
What the fuck? Must be that Columbus, Ohio reception or something. Jesus.
Yeah. What's the venue in Columbus? Is that the Agora?
No, that's in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
In Columbus, there's the Newport Theater.
I don't remember. I wonder if I went there with Udo.
Emil, did I tell you my whole family's from Ohio? Or my dad's side is, anyway?
You mentioned that briefly.
Anthony?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
They're all from Cleveland. My dad grew up in Cleveland.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, were you guys in Brook Park or no?
My family?
Were you guys by Brook Park by any chance?
No, my family is from Shaker Heights, I think.
Okay.
And my uncle.
Yeah, a lot of people have roots in Shaker Heights, man. It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sitting right now. I'm about a 5-minute walk from Shaker Heights.
Everybody's by Shaker Heights.
Not even joking.
That's so
Not
wild.
even joking.
My grandma back in like the 60s or something owned one of the original like big lingerie stores. Fun fact, and it was in Cleveland.
No shit.
Yeah, and the dude who owns Victoria's Secret walked into my grandma's shop. This was back in, I don't know, like 40 or 50 years ago or something, and was like, "Hey, I want to start a business with you. I want to go into business with you." And my grandma was like, "No." And so he turned around and left and started Victoria's Secret.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic story.
That sucks, man, because I would have so much money.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, dude, you'd be like so rich if you fucking would have stuck with that.
So I got a question from Adam Miller for Bill. Bill, you use ESP. Can you tell me why them?
Why I play ESP?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, it's no matter what model you play, they're very reliable guitars, because I do a lot of like different gigs that, you know, say I'll be playing with a death metal band here, and then I'll jump, you know, I'll fly to Europe and do like 3 shows with this other band here. I want to be able to use the same guitar. So the ESP, like especially like the Eclipse model, they're very reliable. You can throw them on the plane, retune it, and it's there. It's good to use. Okay, that's the first thing. Second, the neck is, at least like on the models that I played, the neck is really, really fast, really, really easy to play. That's the other thing. It's easy to play. You know, like the reason that I started playing ESP was because of the Eclipse. And it's because I wanted to play a Gibson Les Paul, but I could never do it. I don't know. It's too heavy. It's too bulky. You know, like it sounds great, but you have to work a lot to get sound out of it. Whereas the Eclipse just looked the same way, but it was easier to play. And then I've had a wonderful relationship with them for about 8 years now. I've been with them for 8 years. You know, anything I need is there right away. You know, they've always, no matter where I am in the world, you know, like Japan, China, fucking Romania, you know, no matter where I am, they will always like figure out a way to help me out. They're great, man. They're the best company to work with, the best sounding guitars, the most reliable guitars. You know, if you want a Strat, they have that. If you want a super pointy black metal guitar, they have that too. It's really cool. They're amazing.
Anthony, what kind of keyboards are you playing with these days, Jonah?
I've always been a Korg guy. I have a Korg Chrome that I use for live. It's really lightweight. In the studio, you know, it doesn't really matter because I just need something that's a good MIDI controller. But yeah, I mean, like for live stuff, Korg. I've always been a Korg person. My first like legit keyboard was a Korg Triton that I got when I was like 16.
Yeah, nice.
So, yeah, I like Roland too. Roland's good. But yeah, mainly Korg.
Gotcha.
And
And
then,
Anthony, what kind of stuff are you fiddling with these days?
He does.
Yeah, I've always used. I mean, if I ever have a chance, it's just the Shure wireless. That's always what I use if I can, just because I hate getting tangled up in Bill Hudson's feet and shit. It's just it's not fun. It's never been fun.
That's only for hotter chicks.
So, what are the top misconceptions that people that are not in the music industry have? Like, let's debunk some misconceptions. Jonah, go.
Well, I don't think there's any like real rock stars anymore. I think that's a thing of the past, you know.
True, I agree with that.
I mean,
That's over.
You can be a super reputable musician, and no matter what, you still need a side hustle. And I also think that because of things like social media, that sort of divide between well-known musicians and fans has sort of like disappeared, because we're so in the public eye and accessible to anybody and everybody all over the world that, you know, I think that's had a huge effect on that. I'm sure
like it's weird. Like, you know, I'll give like one example, like that Bill, you know, will laugh about, like David Vincent. You know, like for me, David Vincent was like a WWF character. You know, you know what I mean? To me, when I was a kid. So, but when I met David through Bill, I was like, oh, he's a human being. You know. And he's a really good human being, an awesome human being, good friend. But you just don't have that conception back. You know, now you can't have that conception anymore. You know, it's impossible. to think he's a WF character, because now you just know everybody's fucking business because they're online everywhere, But when I first heard of him, I was 11 years old, when I first picked up a Morbid Angel album. So, to me, he was a larger than life person. So,
Yeah.
you can't get that no more.
Well, you kind of do, like with guys like Bruce Dickinson.
Sure, with those guys, well, yeah, because
That's
it's the same deal. The same deal. The same deal as David. He was like a superhero to you.
There's never going to be another Iron Maiden or another Metallica.
Nope.
But it's also the backdrop of the times.
Yeah. And that's okay.
The other day I saw this video. I wanted to die. Like it was like a Judas Priest show. They were interviewing like the crowd in a Judas Priest show outside, like in the parking lot.
Oh,
like,
it was the metalhead parking lot thing. Yeah, I've seen it.
They're like, everyone is like 17, 18. That's how a music scene thrives.
Yes.
Without teenagers, without young people, nothing thrives. Just
True.
Look, and to think that at one point 17 and 18-year-olds were listening to metal kind of by default, and that I wasn't there cashing in on that, it pisses me off,
Yeah, dude, people listen, like, if you watch that video, it's like, that's how kids are with Drake now. Like, that's how kids are like, with Drake.
I was going to say Drake, Justin Bieber, or whatever.
Same. Yeah.
These motherfuckers today.
They're the rock stars.
Bill, what is that called? Is that heavy metal parking lot? What is that called? Heavy metal parking lot?
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't know.
it's
It's
called.
a Judas Priest show. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's also called heavy metal parking lot, where some of those clips are from. I don't know, because there's
it was a documentary that came out in the 80s.
See, someone says here, those were the days. Exactly. See, I didn't even live those days.
She's Swedish.
Yeah,
She
but
knows.
it's that way in Europe, though. Like, if you go to the big festivals and stuff like that, like, people
The
are
big
like
festivals.
camping out.
Yeah, the big festivals. But even in Europe, man, like the only bands that are like that big in Europe are like Rammstein, Sabaton now, but for how long,
Yeah.
Like, even in Europe, it's like, I don't know, man. Dude, I was really. I started playing guitar because of a video of Guns N' Roses playing live in Japan at Tokyo Dome, and I was in Tokyo just now with Northdale, and Makoto from ESP is driving me, and he's like, "This is the Tokyo Dome," and I'm like, "Dude, my dream was to play this place." He looks at me, he's like, "Yeah, it's a little too late." I'm like, "Do you think that Guns N' Roses would fill this up today?" He's like, "No," sucks, man.
Shit. I had the same thing though when I was in Tokyo when we played the Saitama Arena. I was walking around going, "This is where Hicks and Gracie fought the Vale Tudo." Like, and no one else, like no one but me cared about that. And I was like, I was trying to figure out which one was the dressing room. Emil, like which dressing room was it? Because I was in one of those dressing rooms, dog. Whichever one it was where he was eating the banana. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the Choke documentary, there's a finite probability. There's a finite probability.
About 5 minutes, by the way.
What?
I gotta leave in about 5 minutes.
That's fine.
Okay, just so you know.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you guys want to stick around and bullshit some more, we can stick around and bullshit some more. If you guys got to go, we can go. I mean,
there are people watching. I don't even know. Do I see a chat? Is there a way to see?
I don't know.
There is a chat. There are people commenting. Most of the comments are just, "Oh, that's cool," or just kind of engaging with it. We got one question here that I think is pretty cool. We got somebody asking. It's Adam Miller asking if you could be at any concert right now, who would you choose and why?
If you could be what?
At any concert right now, who would you choose and why?
I'd choose Dissection because it's impossible to see it.
Okay, how about living band? Let's go living.
Oh, okay.
That's fun because I would want to see Johann Sebastian Bach do.
Yeah, see, like that. See, that's tight. Yeah,
I'd want to see like Ludwig van Beethoven.
I'd want to see Mozart. I'd just go all the way for it.
I would want to go to the Hans Zimmer live tour.
I'm back.
Okay.
So,
Bill, okay,
That
the
would be
question
good.
was is if you could see any concert today with anything, what would it be?
any concert with anything.
I'd
what
say
would it be?
living bands just to keep things relevant.
We didn't. I said like dissection, but because it was impossible, and then we were talking about Mozart, so I thought that was cool. Like Mozart, I'd go see.
Well, I mean, I don't know that it was that entertaining at the time. If it's, I mean, just at the time, you know. Fuck, I don't know, man. Who did I would love to have seen. I would love to have seen Queen with Freddie Mercury.
There you go. That's a good one. There you
Fuck
go.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a
that
good
would
one.
have been fucking sick. Because I mean, dude, I've been lucky, you know. Like the first show I ever saw was Michael Jackson. That's something that nobody else can say.
No
You
shit,
know?
son. Are
Yeah.
you for real?
Yeah, dude. From Rio or from?
I said, are you? I didn't know that. That's for real. That's crazy. No shit.
Yeah, I was only 10 years old, but I really wanted to go. So like my mom had like a secretary, and she got her to take me to the show. And we sat on it was a stadium show, and we sat on the seats. We were far as shit, but I went. You know.
Man, that's awesome, dude. You can't. That's it. That beats everybody. Fuck you. I mean, my first show was Megadeth and Pantera and White Zombie, but that still beats it.
All right,
Well, yeah.
hey fellas, I gotta dip out.
All right,
Cool,
son.
man.
But
All right, brother. See
thanks
you
for
later.
having me.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Jonah.
it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you guys want to continue, we can continue bullshitting, or if you guys got to go, I mean, whatever you prefer.
Dude, I got nothing better to do. We're on I'm writing music. I'm writing
Here, look.
music, but I'm taking it.
I actually brought this out for the thing, but since he left, I'll show it now. This is really cool. Check this out. This is Crystal Tears, our own beer.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, we have
from
it.
the Philippines.
Yep.
Nice.
And I wanted to show it on here just so people could see it. It was pretty fucking sick. It was actually like an India brown ale, and it had like some chocolate taste to it. It's really good. Nippa Brewing is what it was. We actually went to the brewing company. They show us how they made it and everything while we were there. It's pretty tight.
So where's Crystal? Is Crystal Tears based in Greece?
Yeah, they're Greek. Yeah, everybody's Greek.
Gotcha.
And me, and then there's actually we have actually I'll say something here. There's a new addition to the band. I won't say who because we haven't done any formal things on the internet, but we have another Finnish addition to the band member, and it's a guitarist. So you can figure out who the Finnish guitarist is out there and take a bunch of guesses.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess Alexi Leho because why the fuck not?
Maybe it is.
What's he doing these days?
Could be. Yeah, he's sucking his own ass. He's not doing shit.
Jesus. Yeah. So, do you follow mixed martial arts, Bill?
Very little. Very like I was really into it when Anderson Silva was like kicking everyone's ass. And
where in Brazil are you from? Where are you from in Brazil?
Paulo.
Sao Paulo. Okay. I heard the other day that that's the biggest city in the Americas. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's like 3 times New York City, man. It's ridiculous.
It's huge, dude. So big. So big.
Yeah, it's the whole like metropolitan area. I think it's about 20 million.
Yeah, something like that.
That's nuts, man.
That's why you can get stabbed so easily, son, on the street.
You know, it's funny. Like it took me a little while because like I've been all over the world now. I know 44 countries, but when I moved to America, I hadn't. I had never left really my hometown. So when I came to America, I was really amazed at how quiet everything is. You know, how like you guys close shit at 2 a.m. and there's never like people, even in the bigger cities, because in Brazil, like where I'm from in São Paulo, dude, it never closes. Like we leave the house at like 1 a.m.
It's like Manhattan. It's like if you lived in New York City. That's what it's like.
but it's 100 times bigger.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm my mother and her family are Venezuelan, and I know that whenever there's a Venezuelan party, like a wedding or whatever, they start the party pretty fucking late and they just go through the morning.
Yeah.
And it's just I can't, like, my tiny little American brain doesn't handle it well.
Yeah, did you have to
the
be conditioned
fucked
to
up
that
thing
shit?
is, and the fucked up thing is, me now, I'm used to that, you know. So I go to Brazil and I think they're fucking weird. And I grew up being like that, you know.
What were the circumstances under which you moved to this country, Bill?
Was that?
What were the circumstances under which you moved to this country?
He's a political refugee.
I came here. I came here to join. Like, basically, I wanted to come here to do what I do now. You know,
Yeah.
It worked out the way I wanted. But how I went about it is my parents were like, you know, you're not gonna just go there and do nothing and be a piece of shit. You know, you gotta find something to do. So of course, being from Brazil, that requires a visa. Even if you just want to be a tourist, you need a tourist visa. So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what to do. So there was a band called Celador at the time, and they had just gotten signed to Metal Blade Records, and they were looking for a guitarist as well.
I hear the Prog Power USA group are big fans of one of the guys from that band.
Chris Peterson.
I hear everybody really likes him.
Yeah, he's a really nice and warm guy. That's but anyway, that's how I came to America, because that band got signed, and I figured, you know, in my brain, like, oh, you know, the band is starting out, it's the first album, so I'm gonna be on it. They'll help me with the visa. So that's literally what happened, and also why I stayed in Nebraska for 3 years.
Can I tell you something? I'm not going to stop you from stay in Nebraska. Listen to me. I've told you this before, but I was in a band in Arizona that those guys could not stop talking about this record when it came out. This was I mean, it was like you guys were the second coming of Christ. I mean, it was there. It was there.
So many people. I get it to this day. But
it was there.
Album, I mean, God, that album is like, there's so many bad things about it that jump out of the speakers to me. But
but it was done live and it was good. It was there. It was there.
It touched a lot of people. But yeah, you know, that was the circumstance. You know, I ended up joining that band and moved to Nebraska and met my wife in Nebraska, and you know.
Is your wife American?
Yeah, from Omaha, Nebraska.
Gotcha.
Yeehaw!
Can't be any more American than that. Even more than you guys in Ohio.
Hey, dude, yeah, Nebraska's way more hillbilly than we are. That's true.
There's corn and people that like to talk shit. That's all you see there.
Corn and shit talking. Those are my two favorite things ever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like those two things, you're not really a good person.
That's true. That's true.
You're a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one thing I notice a lot with bands that play at Prog Power, or people that play at Prog Power, like musicians that show up there and play.
What about
there's a lot of cross-pollination. There's a lot of like bands that'll use members from other bands.
Oh.
You know, what are some of your favorite kind of like cross-pollinated experiences that you've had? Like bands you've gotten to play with on the stage there, you know, shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, bands that I played with?
Yeah, like bands you kind of just jumped on the stage. You know, they were like, hey, we need somebody to, you know, cover the rhythm guitar for you know, the Prog Power set. Like, what are some of the cool ones that you got to play with? I know you've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, I've done that. To me, the coolest one was the one that wasn't really planned, which was Noe Shaw.
You did do that, didn't you? I forgot.
Yeah, I was there to. Well, I didn't do the whole set. I was there to play the Power Quest.
You did a song.
What's that?
You did a song with him though, right?
I did a song,
Yeah.
But I was there to play with Power Quest, which by definition is already there. That, you know, because I wasn't. But and then Snowy was there, and I guess he was gonna have Pete Black from King Diamond come and play guitar, and Pete Black didn't make it, so he's like, "Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "Dude, I never heard the song in my life, but I'll learn it." You know.
What was it?
Twilight Symphony by King Diamond.
Fuck. Oh, fucking.
And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And I learned it, and it was fucking badass, dude. It was really cool.
That song's the shit. That's tight. You did that.
And also the Doro set, man. The Doro set was pretty legendary because I did it basically with no rehearsal. I did like half a rehearsal. You know? That was legendary. that was really cool.
How does one go about learning shit like that so quickly? Like, what do you like? Is it? Are there certain? What do you have mnemonic devices, or what do you do to learn music that quickly?
He's a freak, bro. He's a freak. He's a freak.
Yesterday, I was talking to a guitar player friend of mine about that because he played in that band Obscura, and he's like one of the most like creative players, you know, but he doesn't really play covers. So I was talking to him because he asked me that. He's like, "How do you go from Morbid Angel to Doro in the same festival? You know, like how?" And to me, it's very natural because I learned so many songs that there's kind of a like a library of licks, if that makes sense, you know, because I mean it's not like I'm playing polka in black metal, you know, it's all in the metal, it's all in the metal family, you know, I'm playing a traditional metal band and then power metal and then death metal, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to writing the E string and playing power chords, you know, it doesn't change much. Now, how I remember everything, I don't know. That I don't.
That's why I think you're a freak. How do you remember it all? That's where I'm like, how do you?
That's a question that people ask, and I couldn't not remember. You know, it's like it just comes naturally. But it sucks sometimes because a lot of these bands, especially the more traditional ones, like the '80s bands, they have like 4 or 5 songs all in the same key. You know, like with the same chords. So you have to actually know the song and remember the vocal melody and what it's called and all that. Because if you go song 1, song 2, like I used to do, you end up getting lost, you know.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that could be fucked. Yeah.
Are there any bands that you feel like if you had to play their shit in a concert, you'd be like, without having time to practice, you'd be fucked? Like, if you had to play, for example, for Exvius, which I know is Obscura's instrumental side project, would you have like a hard time with shit like that? It's like super jazzy.
I guess it would depend. It would depend on like how much of that I've played before, you know, because like what I've done like that I didn't think I actually would be able to, and I did, was Vital Remains, because I was a Circle to Circle in Dubai, and I got a call from Vital Remains to do a tour with them like 3 or 4 days later. And the songs are all 10 minutes and all fucking super technical and ridiculous. But the kind of technical that they were is the Yngwie technical, the harmonic minor. So I got that shit down. You know, that's very normal and comfortable for me. So I came back on the flight, listening to the songs and reading tabs. Literally, I got tabs. And I'm reading the tabs and listening to the song because I didn't actually have a guitar to practice, you know. So... Gotcha. And I learned it, and I did the show without rehearsal. But that's something I'm familiar with. Now, if you're gonna throw jazz chords and stuff that I actually have to practice to put my fingers on, then that might be a problem. You know, like you know, you have a section that has all these chords that I never played, and you have to do it tonight. I'm like, fuck, you know. That.
So you know this guitarist Christian Munzier, the guy from this German guy, Munzier.
Well, the conversation I was just talking about was with Tom, which is like his partner. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, he did the same thing you did with Night Rage, man. Like he was on tour with Night Rage with he was in another band at the time with Necrophagist. And Gus had to leave the tour in the middle of it, and he learned all the Night Rage songs like by watching them play, and just went in there and just fucking played Gus's parts, and just what you did, he just did it by watching them play on the tour. Like, yeah,
it's a
the fuck is this?
Back at the time that we did the Night Rage tour, I probably couldn't have done that like that because I was starting to do that, you know. Night
So I want to
Rage-
ask Anthony a little bit about vocals. So I know that you primarily do a specific style of like melodic death metal vocals, like similar to the Thomas Lindbergh style or the Antony Hämäläinen style. But you also do clean vocals sometimes as well. Which is more difficult, and what are your thoughts on like different vocal styles?
Well, it's not really a question about what's more difficult. I guess it's like the conditions. Like if you know, if we're traveling somewhere, like like for a great example, when we were on tour with Crystal Tears recently in Asia, you know, we went to the Philippines, and where it's like 90 degrees in December, you know, and that's not really good for your throat, man. You know, if you're like used to, you know, freezing cold in December, or for it to not be like, you know, humid, and like our July in Ohio was their December, and all the venues were outdoors. So there was actually a lot of shows where I was having some problems doing some extreme vocals there, because they, you know, my body wasn't used to it. So it just depends sometimes on the conditions, man. You know, because I mean, clean vocals are usually easy as hell to sing. It just depends on the song, you know, if it's a tough song or not. But they're usually it's usually like depends on like weather conditions. I know, weird enough. So
Why don't you see, like, I feel like for me the most impressive singers are guys like Christian Alvestam or Bjorn Strid.
yeah, even Bjorn Strid has problems with this though.
What's that?
I said Bjorn Strid as well has problems with clean vocals and extreme vocals at the same time. It's tough. It's very tough.
I was gonna say like that switch, but Christian doesn't.
Christian doesn't. But
we were
you know what's interesting? He doesn't tour either.
True.
That's the deal. That's the difference, I think, is because Bjorn is a road dog, and he's willing to tour, so he has to do some different things to change it up. And you hear some shows live, and it's just because of the day, and it's like I said, it's maybe it's really hot out and it's just not working, man, you know, because of you're screaming and trying to sing these beautiful notes in the same time. That, of course, I mean, not to fuck up anybody's view of Soilwork, but dude, these guys are doing this shit, and they're doing it with a fucking, you know, auto tune, you know. So they're gonna go out there and try to do this, scream it and sing it in perfect key auto tune. There's no fucking way. It's not gonna happen, you know. So
I mean, I've seen Soilwork live probably as much as any other band, and I think that as a live show, they do a good job. They don't do a perfect job. Like, they're not.
It's impossible. It's impossible, dude. It's impossible. It's impossible. You'll
But
never
on
get.
the other hand, I mean, I've seen bands that are able to really be perfect live.
Which bands? Like Metallica? Sure, yeah, that can be done perfect. We can make that happen.
Like, have you ever heard of well, no, you know, I can't think of a band that does both cleans and harsh vocals. Maybe Killswitch Engage.
No, I'll tell you the guy. It's Peter Grin from Hypocrisy. That's the only other person besides Christian Alvinsson that I've heard do it, and do it every night like it's the album. But these are rare people. These are rare humans. That's why you don't see it every night. You even watch Thomas Lindbergh now. He's getting a little older, man. It doesn't sound the same as Slaughter of a Soul. Your voice changes as you get older. It's just the way it is, you know. Like, I don't sound the same as I did on Wearing a Martyr's Crown. Like, you listen to, there's old videos of me and Bill online playing together with Night Rage, and I don't sound like that guy anymore. I'm not
I
20,
don't sound
42.
like the guy playing.
But yeah, exactly. Even Bill doesn't sound like the same player, you know, as that guy there either. So
one thing that I think I've noticed, I kind of want Bill's thoughts on this. A lot of times there's criticism when bands bring on a new singer because the new singer doesn't sound like the old singer. Mm-hmm. And then there's also criticism sometimes when bands bring on a new guitarist that he's playing somebody else's work, or like I've heard.
Oh, yeah. Bill knows that one. Bill knows that one for sure.
I know he knows that. I want Bill's thoughts on that shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, as far as a fan, I kind of relate to it, and that's why I sort of I try my best, unless I'm told that I don't have to sound exactly like the album when I take a gig. Okay. Now, sometimes some artists like Doro, for example, doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't care what you play as long as you play the song right. But now, when I did the Prog Power 2014 set with John Oliva, I had to learn that shit note by note, because Chris Oliva not only is my hero, is a hero to a lot of people, you know. So I know that their fans want to hear that shit played note by note. Now, as far as like criticism, I've never gotten super bad criticism, because I'm normally playing with like older bands, so I'm replacing guys that haven't played since the 90s or whatever. But when it's not that, I think it's pretty funny, because normally I'll replace a guy who isn't as good as I am, and I'll still hear people saying how good that guy is. But of course that's not the case with Oliva or fucking Wolf Hoffman. Of course, you know, like you should bitch about it when you hear me play their shit. But when it's like younger people, I just laugh. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really whack. They're just trying to push it.
Yeah.
Most underrated band playing right now. Go.
Right now?
Yeah, I'd say like most underrated current bands.
I didn't hear it. What is it?
Underrated current bands.
Underrated current bands. My band, Northdale. It is. It is, man. Every time I saw our album like on the top 10, that wasn't the first, I got offended. but other than that,
I love it. I love it.
Than that, I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
Tough, dude. Yeah, me too. That's tough, bro. That's tough.
It's easier to find overrated bands these days.
Yes, this is better.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Fuck it. Most overrated bands.
No. I don't.
Northdale.
I don't.
Northdale.
I'm pretty sure that I'm friends with at least one guy in every overrated band. So.
I know, dude. Me too. I don't want to say nothing either. I was trying to think. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that motherfucker. Oh
Dude,
shit, yeah.
That's one of the most fucked up things about being a metal fan and also working in the industry. You know, all these guys are like your bros, but like their bands suck. But their band is also big, so they have fans. So you have.
So you
to,
can't say shit. Yeah.
And being pictures and hanging out, but it's like, dude, you suck. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll tell you one. All right. There's this band I like a lot from Australia. They're called The Chats. They're the most underrated band ever. Check them out. The Chats. CHATS. The Chats. Like we're having a chat, mate. The Chat.
Like chats, like chat rooms?
Yes, The Chats.
Okay. I'll check
that
out.
band is awesome. They're cool.
I'll have to check them out.
It's nothing like we like. It's just pure punk rock, funny punk. It's great. It's so funny. It's great.
I was telling Anthony the other day, I think that comedy metal is fantastic. I think that there needs to be more of it.
Maybe.
Comedy metal. I like comedy metal. I don't like irony metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he's talking like Steel Panther. That's what he's talking about.
Glory Hammer. Glory Hammer.
Glory Hammer.
Yeah. Glory Hammer is good. But see, Glory Hammer would piss me off if they weren't a good band. You know, like they are a good band.
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless of the bullshit, like they can just, like if they didn't dress up and they just went on stage and played, they would still be a good band.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But that's not the case with a lot of those bands.
As with Steel Panther, I think that Steel Panther could do the same shit that they do.
They're fantastic.
You don't think so?
I love them.
Yeah.
Steel Panther feels to me, well, because I saw them when they were metal school and they just would play covers, you know.
Same as I saw them in Arizona as metal school.
Like it feels to me that Steel Panther is like they figured out a way to become big playing that music.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if it's gonna be comedy, whatever, because it's still fucking, it's so good.
Dude,
Like
he used to when they were middle school. I remember he used to walk out with like a bottle of Smirnoff, but it was water, and he used to just drink it down it, and then they just bust out into the baddest ass like song, dude. I'd be like, dude, this guy's the shit, man. This is it. You could tell it was water, dude, but he was still just like dumping it down. I'm like, all right, this this is it. I love it.
That's a good shit. I'm gonna start doing shit like that in my matches. I'm gonna like.
Dude,
I was thinking about maybe bringing like a bottle of Windex and filling it with Gatorade and like spraying that shit into my mouth as I'm like.
No, dog, do a goddamn bottle of vodka, like a Finlandia vodka with water, and just drink it as you're walking out. That'd be incredible.
You think so? Okay, fine. Next time I do a walkout, I'm gonna do that. You got to see my walkouts, Bill. You got to see my fucking.
Yeah, very funny.
Check it out, man.
What I do is I put together the most absurd shit that I can think of. Like I'll have pool floats. I'll have like backup dancers. I'll have all sorts of fuckery.
Dude, he came out in a unicorn outfit once, dude. You know what I mean? Like
this is for a fight. Like this.
For a fight.
Dude, if I was a fighter, I would do some crazy shit too. That's awesome.
That's why I said you'd always. I told you, Emil. I said if you just talk this motherfucker, you'd like him.
Listen, I don't know people, man. And here's the fucked up thing. Like, I used to be a big fanboy when it came to metal. Like when it came to like metal and shit. The way I met Anthony was I bought the meet and greet for a Night Rage show here in Cleveland.
Was I playing on that?
Yes, you
I don't
were.
think so.
Yes, he was.
He was?
Yes.
So I got your autograph on a poster, on a Night Rage poster in my basement.
Yes, he does.
The thing is,
wait,
after
Cleveland, is that Peabody's?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's where I ripped off the gumball machines on the ground, right?
It was you guys and Firewing.
He doesn't know that story. You should tell him that story.
You tell him the story.
Okay, dude. So this is the greatest. This is the greatest night of the tour. Actually, was that night that you were there. Okay, and this was the last tour that Bill Hudson ever drank a drop of alcohol. Okay.
Yes.
It's very true. And it's primarily because of incidents like this. Okay, it's why he stopped doing this. And so I think it was also a bit of anger because Joe and Anders and I left him alone. Okay, there, and he wanted to go with us because I know people in Cleveland. Okay, so one of my best buddies here from Columbus, who I went to high school with, he lived in Cleveland, close to another friend of his, and we went to his home after the show, and we made pizzas, and we had like a nice time. And Bill was so drunk, we left him at the bar. We left him at Peabody's, okay? And he got so fucking crazy that we left him that he went into Peabody's. You know where they have like these little things that go down, and they get like a little stuffed animal and shit. They bring it back, this game. And he just basically flipped it over on its side, and he picked it up like this, like that, and was throwing it over on its side. And everyone had to get a control of him and escort him out. And he almost got kicked off the tour that time for this.
That's pretty fucking good.
But he didn't. It was great.
Don't drink.
That sounds like a silly goose time right there.
It was.
But yeah, so for me, it was like I went to I went to see, a bunch of shows. I got these meet and greets and all this other shit. And then at a certain point, I had the means and the time to go to more shows. And I was like, these are just people. I'm not going to fucking pay money to meet these people. And from there, it was all downhill. It was like, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that was a Firewind meet and greet that you paid for, by the way. It wasn't a Night Rage one. It wasn't.
No?
Oh. No.
Oh, you guys were there.
You could have met us for free, after the show.
No, I wanted to meet Firewind because they had these really fucking cool posters that had like a hologram. That was the reason I did that. Like that was one of the last meet and greets I paid money for.
Ah, okay, yeah. If you do it for like a special reason, I get it. Then yeah, that's cool.
No, that was one of the last ones I paid money for. And the reality was that like I was actually a bigger fan of Night Rage than I was of Firewind. Like I liked Firewind, but I loved Night Rage.
Cool.
Like that shit was my shit.
That's nice, man. Thanks, man.
I mean, you're not in Night Rage anymore, so you can go fuck yourself. But no, but no, but it was just, it's one of those things. Like, I just realized that I didn't really fucking care what band somebody played for. Like, I like the music. Like, I'd be a big fan of the music, but not really give a shit about the human.
Yeah.
And to be honest, man, in our genre of music, that shit is such common knowledge that when someone doesn't act like it's like that is weird.
Right.
You know? Like when you have someone that's fanboy and shit, is always like, you fucking weirdo, go away.
I was like that for a while. Like, the first prog power I went to, I know I was like that. But then after that, my first year was 2012.
12? Oh, damn. Okay.
No shit. So that was my year. That was the year.
That was your year, yeah.
Oh.
That's why I remember you.
We didn't talk there. The reason you remember me is because I added you on Facebook after I met you with Night Rage, and then I saw you posting about UFC, and I was like, bro, have you ever tried jiu-jitsu? Because I didn't, I had a bunch of it.
Yeah. No, I remember you telling me that. Yeah, of course.
I had a bunch of people on my feed that.
But I didn't know that that the prog power I played was your first prog power. I thought you had been to one before that. I thought you'd done many.
No, that was the first one I went to.
No shit. That's interesting.
Yeah, but the thing was that, like, I had so many of these metal guys on my feed that I'd added on Facebook. You were the only one posting about watching UFC fights.
Ah, okay, yeah. Well, I was probably the only one who ever done any martial arts.
and then I see you fucking rolling at Marcelo Garcia's. I'm like, I told you. I fucking told you.
Yeah, that's nice. That was fun.
Anyways,
Chris Amott took me there, actually. He took me there to Marcelo Garcia's.
Does he do jiu-jitsu?
No, I couldn't find it. He lives in New York.
We had this conversation right after we got done training at Covell's. Shout out.
Yeah. He had to show me where it was because it was right by actually where we rehearsed, which was by Madison Square Garden, and it's on 26th Street. And I just didn't at the time. I didn't know which way to go, so he had to show me which way to go. So, and then he walks in there and he's watching us do it, dude. And he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, you guys. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. Just sit down and watch, okay? It's quiet.
It's so silly, man. So silly. When we get done over here, 2 of my students are quarantined together.
Oh, yeah?
And I haven't been in contact with anybody in weeks, and I trust them, so I'm going to probably go train with them.
Yeah,
but
I do it with Anna. Me and Anna rolled. You saw the video. We rolled. So.
That was fucking sweet, man. She's still good.
She's still good, yeah. That's right after the pregnancy too. So I mean, that's a lot of energy. That was a lot of energy.
Yeah. Are you still training down at 10th Planet in Newark?
Yes, I am. We still do it there. Yep.
Awesome.
Uncle John Barrows, if he's watching this, the man, he's there out there.
I saw John at my very last tournament that I just did.
Yeah.
I ran into him at the Arnold.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they were all there. Yeah. And then I think right after that we were all told we couldn't roll with anyone.
Like a couple of days later.
Yeah, it sucked.
It's a fucking bummer.
I know.
When you come up this way, we're gonna have to, get you doing jiu-jitsu or something.
I'm telling him.
I feel inspired hearing you guys talk about it.
Well, I'd love to get him, dude. He'd love it, dude. I'm telling you, if he just had the right coach, he just didn't have some Brazilian shit, he'd be all right. He'd like it.
Yeah, what is it with Brazilians and just being shitty people, Bill?
don't ask him
They're
that.
super shitty people, dude. That's why I don't live there.
He's gonna go. He's got so much to tell you, dude. Don't.
I got
you have no idea.
I got a question
when
for
you
Bill.
go train, if there's Brazilians around, don't leave your shit in their locker room like unattended, man.
Bill, I got a question, man. I've got to ask. There's no fucking way your real name is William Hudson.
Yes, no. It is. Yeah, it is. Oh, I was gonna say it was. Why'd you say no? Shut up, dude.
I know.
No. And here's the thing too. When I became a U.S. citizen, I had a chance to change it officially, but I didn't.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, this motherfucker made me. Do you understand the work I had to do with this name, dude? On the passports to get into Canada and everything on the tour with this guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
And then I
god.
drew dicks on my face, assholes.
Oh my god, dude. Hey, whatever, dude. I had to write all that stuff before all that. Hey, my name's easy, dude. That's easy. You can write that easy. You know, he's got 5 names. You don't know. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I meant like
name is
Renato.
Laranja.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Bill loves Renato Larange. He loves this guy. He
Have you
loves
seen
it.
his
Okay.
interview?
Renato Laranja, the character, that's dead on. That is a Brazilian guy speaking English. Like, I didn't realize it was a joke. You know, like people.
So yeah, he thought it was real.
People like Renato Laranja are why I can't do jiu-jitsu. Basically, you know? Like, real people like that character are why I can't do it.
Dude, he told me, he goes, that guy's real. That guy, that's why I don't want to do it. Is fuck that guy. And I'm like, dude, it's not real. And he goes, no, that's real. That's real. That's really who it is.
Specifically, that one is not real, but it's a damn good act. Like, it's exactly the way they talk, like the way the phrases are put together. You know, tomorrow, Joe Hogan, you gotta do this thing. I worked so hard not to talk like that. I literally in music college took accent reduction classes not to speak like that. I still have an accent, but at least I don't say tomorrow and I don't say Joe Hogan.
Dude, it's so awesome because that guy who does that character, you know, he's an actor from LA, and he is like trying to have that. He like wants what you have. Like, he wishes.
No, it's a fucking act. Well, it's funny because I actually had him on a podcast a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And what I did was I had him, and I had have you heard of Dominica Bellanite, Anthony?
It sounds
who
familiar.
she is. You know who she is. She is a woman that was the first female black belt under Marcelo Garcia.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why I know it.
And
Yeah.
she is the first person to win a world title in jiu-jitsu as a first-year black belt, if I'm not mistaken. I could be transposing something, maybe it's some other detail, but regardless, she's remarkable. She's a remarkable athlete.
Okay.
And she started a campaign to get women in jiu-jitsu equal payment.
Okay.
Why they don't get paid equal?
No, they don't. It's
Why?
kind of bullshit because the reality is that as a sport, it's a little bit different than a lot of like team sports in that it's the individuals like that make the matches. Not it's a problem. It's a
Well,
big
yeah. So it's like if you have a big like because you're controversial because of like, you know, what you say and stuff like that. Your name makes the match. So
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's not so much my skills necessarily because good jiu-jitsu is good jiu-jitsu, and there's very few people that truly have unique styles that are elite.
Sure.
Like, there's very few people.
Marcelo Garcia, Eddie Bravo, very unique people. Yeah.
Jeff Glover, Emil Fisher,
Danaher, you know these guys. Yeah.
Danaher is not unique. The thing with Danaher is
unique to me. I think.
what he did was he took a system, he systematized it, but the actual techniques are not unique. The tactics are not unique. It's just the way that he systematized it.
Sure.
So anyway, she was the big push behind a movement to get equal pay for women in jiu-jitsu. And so what I did was I had her and Hanato on my podcast together.
Dude, what
It was
the fuck?
retarded.
Because all he does is like talk shit about women.
Uh-huh.
Which is
Like Bill doesn't know this. So like Bill, like on his Instagram, like, you know, he's a real Brazilian guy. So he's like, fuck this bitch. I'm not paying her any fucking alimony. I'm not paying her any child support. Fuck you.
No child
support. No child support. No child support. No child support.
It's so fucking
You've never
good,
been
dude.
to Brazil and you do a Brazilian accent so good because you hear so many Brazilians speak.
I know it more because of you. I've hung out with you more than anybody from a fucking school.
Okay, guys. We're going to do porrada today. Everything
Porrada.
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 Porra.
Porrada.
Everyday porra.
Boy, yeah. And the fucked
Porra,
up thing is
caralho.
porra and porrada, they're not related words at all. They just sound the same.
They're not?
No, like porra is jizz, like jizz. When you
Yeah.
jizz in someone's face, that's porra.
Porra.
And porrada is a punch. So there is no relation in grammatical relation in Portuguese.
One thing I think is really funny is there are people that do jiu-jitsu that are not Brazilian. They don't have Brazilian coaches. They don't train at Brazilian gyms or with Brazilian training partners, but they adopt some of the nomenclature and lingo.
Os.
And those people
Os.
are the real fucking pros. What'd you say?
Yeah.
Os. Os. That's my favorite. Yeah.
Os.
Os. That's some dumb shit, dude.
Yeah. What's funny is like some of
If
them.
you say
pronounce
os,
it
you're an
really funny.
asshole. There you go. Fuck you.
But that's kind of, I guess that's kind of like me trying to be American and name myself Bill Hudson.
Yeah, but that's a cool name. You have a Hudson because of Slash, though. That's cool, though.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's not even close to stupid. It's way cool. Come on.
No. I'm just saying it's the same. As an American trying to use Brazilian nomenclature without having a coach or anything.
Okay. Sure.
No, I mean,
Bill.
so here's the thing, Bill. Do your friends, like, do people that are like your good friends call you Bill?
Even my parents.
Really?
I call him Phil.
Phil?
Yes.
Phil Hudson?
Someone one time just came up to me, asked for like a picture. Are you Phil Hudson? I'm like, no.
In Frog Power, though. In
No,
Frog
that's not me. Like,
Proggy Power.
no, that's not me.
He goes, are you Phil Hudson? I mean, like, but he asked him, like, dude, you're Phil Hudson? Like he was, how do you get the name wrong if you're so stoked about the guy?
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not. So it became.
Bro, you're Phil Hudson, right? You're Phil Hudson? I still have never gotten over this. I heard this secondhand, dude. I still call him Phil to this day because I think it's so funny that somebody said
It is
that.
pretty good.
It kills me.
No,
Yeah.
for me, it was funny. The first couple of years I went to Prague Power, one of my favorite things to do was to openly mock people that were like trying to look like other people. Like there's this one guitarist that plays at Prague Power that sometimes it wears like this hat, like he wears like it's like a little top hat. So I always call him the 4-man Slash. I was like, hey,
Who's
you're
that
the
guy?
4-man Slash, right? He's like, what? I was like, nothing.
4-man Slash. That's
I want to find out who that guy is, so I know. Not to ask him
He's
to.
in, I want to say he's in Voodoo Circle. I could be wrong. I gotta look the guy up. He's a guitarist. He plays guitar.
Voodoo Circle.
I don't know. I gotta look it up. But no,
Is that Alex Bayron or whatever? I think he wears a top hat and plays a Les Paul.
maybe. And like there's another
Bill,
one.
I'm so stoked, bro. You never put a top hat on, dude. That's so sick, dude, that you've never done that.
Dude, no. I didn't
Please
do
don't.
it. I
If you
tried.
put a top hat on, I will not fucking let you live it down. I already think you're a very odd looking human being. We started outing in
Don't put on a top hat, bro. Don't ever put on a top hat.
I need to do a top hat and not straighten my hair. Just let my hair go natural. Then I'll look just like Slash.
Oh, so you're luxurious, great. Your hair is curly, huh?
Yeah, he straightens his hair, dude. His hair's fucking nappy as fuck, dude. It's all curly.
Dude, you should like a real fro out, man, like I'm doing.
I said that too. I have straight hair, man. I
That's
wish
the
I could have
problem.
curly hair. It'd be tight.
That's my problem. My hair is like halfway there. I couldn't have a fro if I wanted to. I would. It would look awesome. But no, it's just fucking stupid. So,
It's like stagnant, like half fro, like just stops. Like
Yeah, it's like you can't even have cool hair. Like
You didn't put your makeup on here, too. Yeah, like I pissed off the guys from Camelot because I kept insisting that Tommy Karavik is Roy Khan. And they got like super mad at me for that.
of course, dude.
Oh yeah, don't say that around Thomas. He won't like that.
Oh, he didn't like that one bit, man. He
No,
like
he
that
won't
one.
think it's funny either.
Oh,
That other dude's a Jesus freak. That's why.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Although I am excited to see Conception if they actually do Prague Power this year. Do you guys think that festivals are going to be happening in September? You think Prague Power is going to happen?
So I'm supposed to play.
I know you are.
I think it's going to be moved to October. Everything in September will be moved to October, November. That's my theory. That's what I think.
Why though? Why? What's behind that theory?
Just because I think that, if you look at what happened in China, like how long it took them to get through it to where they were able to open again.
I think they're still in the mix.
Yeah, but there will be another spike here too. We'll have it again, and then we'll go back. We're gonna have to go back and do this again. So the shitty part, we're gonna go out, and it's gonna happen again, and then we're gonna go back in, and then it will go away. So if we were smart like South Korea, they did it after 30 people. They caught it. They caught it like this after 30 people, and they were able to contain it. And we need to like contain it with a small amount of people. So it has to get there first.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't now.
No, but I don't know. I think the best thing to do is just like try to do something around October, November, and if people get sick, then you contain it again. It'll be okay.
See you, man. I'm hoping that it's all gonna fucking be over. I'm hoping that now that May's coming around, they're saying they're opening shit back up. My hope is that it's gonna be revealed that they were fucking wrong all along. And I was like, whatever. I guess we just suffered for like a month and tanked our economy for no reason. But
well, my guess is that Bill is going to end up moving to Ohio with me because he's going to lose all of his land in Orlando because of the zombies, and I'm going to have to take him in here. So
yeah, I'll move into your house. I hope, dude. I bought a house 3 years ago. I'm fucking hoping that it doesn't crash.
It won't. You'll be fine. Stop. You'll be okay.
You'll be all right, buddy.
You'll be fine.
All right, guys. I think we're hitting the 2 hour mark. I think that's about enough for everybody.
2 hours. That was awesome. 2 hours.
Holy fuck! Yes, 2 hours. Thanks, Emil. Thanks for having us, man.
It's a meal, Bill. It's a meal, like Emilio.
Emilio
Estaves. Emilio Estaves.
Like, but Swedish people, is it the same with Swedish people?
No, it's not because he's Jewish.
Emil, right?
No, it's not Emil. It's not like that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So my name's pronounced like what Anthony just said.
Yeah. Cool, man. But yeah, dude, thank you. Sorry if I talk too much shit because I tend to.
Dude, I love it.
Oh, great.
I totally brought you guys on. Yeah. See, what I'm doing is, and for anybody that's still watching, just know that what I'm going to be doing is every day, or just about every day, I'm going to be bringing on people that I think are noteworthy and have something to offer. I'm focusing as much as I can on jiu-jitsu people because those are the people that I have most access to.
Yeah.
But, as you saw here today, I got some really fucking cool guys on here that, only one of them does jiu-jitsu and then one of them Brazilian, so I guess that kind of counts. So I'm going to be doing this
together and we're jiu-jitsu champions.
Hey, man, he's trained jiu-jitsu. He tried it. So, I mean, he's trained it. He's tried it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. I mean, considering the fact that he's Brazilian, he's basically just a blue belt,
Dude, I'll get him to do it, dude. I'm gonna make him do it. Don't worry, I'll get him. I'll get him to do it.
Do you guys have anything you want to shout out? Any pages you want to promote on Facebook or Instagram? Where can people catch up with you? All that good shit.
Go ahead, Bill.
You should add me on Instagram, Bill Hudson GTR. And Northdale on Facebook and Instagram and all that. Be on the lookout for my project with Anthony and Jonah. Of course, we're gonna have some music out soon. But for now, you can follow us, Bill Hudson 2 on Facebook. Although that's my personal page is probably full, but you can find me on Facebook, Bill Hudson.
Can't people just like our pages though and subscribe them because I'm full too?
Weird, man.
Yeah.
So what it is, there's pages and then there's profiles.
Right.
And it's like you can follow somebody's profile, I guess, if they allow that. But other than that, no, not really. It's weird.
Well, anyway, for me, it's Antony Hämäläinen on Instagram if you want to check me out there. Same thing on Facebook. Check out Crystal Tears. We have 2 singles we dropped since I've been in the band. We have Ghost Dance, and I did a song in the Filipino language, actually, called No Si Balasi, where I sing in Filipino. Most people don't know that. It's pretty tight. So you go check that shit out, and yeah.
Have you seen the video of the horsewoman of Philippines?
The what?
Oh God, I gotta send it to you. CJ showed it to me. Emil, you too. Look up Philippines Got Talent horsewoman or something.
I've
It's
never
the
heard
most
of it.
fucked up thing that exists. You will be traumatized.
Wait, CJ Cussell sent this
Does
to
she
you
fuck a horse?
Yes.
recently?
No, years and years ago.
Oh,
But
okay.
you said Philippines, and I remember that, so I got
Okay,
to
okay.
you now.
Okay,
Like
I've never heard of
Philippines
this.
Got Talent. Dude, you have no idea what I'm about to send you when we get off this.
Yeah, okay, I can't wait. I'm fucking stoked.
Cool.
All right, guys.
All
Have a
right,
great
Emil,
day.
thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, dude.
Have a good day, guys.
Take care, guys.